Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel. My name is Ajua and I hope this video finds you well. If you are new to this place, please consider subscribing. And to all my returning subscribers, thank you so much for your support and welcome back. In this video, I'm going to sound a bit controversial, but hear me out before you jump into any conclusion. I'm talking about someone who has about 70% of a collection being dupe fragrances. And even though I have dupe fragrances, I also appreciate designer and niche fragrances, because most of these fragrances that I talk about is because of the niche or designer fragrances that I have these dupes. So to give you a sense that I'm looking for a sense of feel of these niche fragrances, but because of probably the prices, the proximity to access some of these fragrances, and so many other factors, I would rather do my dupes. And although dupe fragrances, give you a sense of satisfaction, to me, nothing really compares to original fragrances. And take it from someone who has a lot of dupe fragrances or talk about dupe fragrances. Nothing really gives a sense of satisfaction, a sense of belonging, to a certain crowd than getting fragrances which are original, because sometimes you want to be part of the crowd. You feel better or you feel good when you have like a bottle which is an original one, and probably it's quite pricey, and you've been able to buy that, to add to your collection. It's satisfying, honestly. It is quite satisfying. However, for so many various reasons, a lot of us get into dupe fragrances simply because they are going to give you like an exact replica of what you might be looking for, but your money is not up to, or give you a sense of how an original fragrance is going to smell. Then you can, save up and invest in that, and whatever your reason might be, dupe fragrances are awesome. However, nothing is going to replace original fragrances to me. Take it from me as someone who is usually into dupe fragrances. All I can say is 90% of the time when I get niche, fragrances or designer fragrances, it feels quite different, than when I get my dupes. I'm never getting rid of my dupe collection. I'm going to keep adding to them, because of course I have a YouTube channel. I personally also enjoy these fragrances. They save me a lot of money as to buying the original fragrances. They save me a lot of money. They are easily accessible. Some of the niche fragrances you can't even get them widely. You have to import them from out of your country with additional taxes, and even those taxes alone are a deterrent for you not to buy the fragrances. The one fragrance I really wanted to try out was going to be Dama Bianca by Zezhov, but the prices will not allow me. I didn't have access to decants at some point when I really wanted to, so I decided to go the dupe way. And although till this day I've never smelled Dama Bianca, Junoon Noir has been known to be a very good, alternative to that. I've seen people who have both fragrances and they swear to the fact that both Dama Bianca and then Junoon Noir are exactly the same fragrances. I will not be able to speak to that. However, I was convinced by that and I had to get Junoon Noir. And this has been a way out for me when it comes to getting that original bottle. With this, I don't think I'll ever need an original bottle of Dama Bianca, even if it is not close to the original one. For whatever this fragrance is, it's excellent. I appreciate that uniqueness it has. I wasn't used to anything kumquat, until I got around this fragrance, and it gives me something very exotic, very different from any other fragrance I have come across. So for me, I think I have duped this one and it satisfied my curiosity as to getting the Mabianca. First of all, I think the price for the Mabianca, even though it's been on the market for quite some time, is still on the higher side, and they have priced me out. Honestly, they have priced me out of some of these fragrances. That is why I chose to go the dupe, route or route. I don't think I have the desire to ever take out my money to go buy the Mabianca, simply because this one really has satisfied my curiosity, and I love this scent. So that is going to be the first one. The next fragrance I believe has crushed out another wish list from my list is going to be Caramel Cascade by Paris Corner. This has crushed out the fact that I really wanted to get a bottle of Bianco Latte. Although I think Bianco Latte is, reasonably priced, I just didn't feel the need to have it in my collection when I got the decants, because it didn't feel like, it was, I wouldn't say it's not worth the $150 that they're asking for. But there was something about it which I felt was a little overpriced for the for the scent profile. I guess felt like it didn't seem so special, to me. Honestly, I think Bianco Latte is a bit, overhyped, although a very excellent scent, So I was super curious about this one. And as soon as, it was released, I had to get my hand on it. And this one is going to give me, or has given me, Bianco Latte like 95% accuracy, especially after maceration. I think I'm going to feature this in my next Life After Maceration series. I think just 2 or 3 days ago, I had to go back to Bianco Latte and this one to test how this one has macerated and how similar it has gotten to the original one. And I can say that it's now about 98%, with the exception that this one is much more milky. I get the milk much more in this one than I get in the original Bianco Latte. This has really done it for me. I think I'm okay with this one. I don't feel the need to have Bianco Latte in my collection because of Caramel Cascade. Honestly, for the price that some of these houses are giving us compared to the quality of the juice, I think they are sort of, an answered prayer, especially to me. So because of Caramel Cascade, I personally do not find a need to get Bianco Latte. The next fragrance I really wanted to have at least, a decant or maybe like a 30 ml, if they had a 30 ml in my collection, was going to be Metalique from Tom Ford. I never really got around to buying that. I think Metalique is one of those Tom Ford fragrances which is on the affordable side, as compared to others in other line. I think Metalique is quite on the reasonable side of things. However, I still didn't get it. And then I think a year ago, I was able to test Metalico, but I wasn't ready to get that scent for whatever reason until a few months ago. I started craving that scent and I had to get Metalico by Paris Corner. This is an answered prayer. This gives me about 95% accurate dupe to Metalique. It scratches the edge to get the original Metalique, in my opinion. I think I'm good with this. It gives me the same, almost the same performance. They are both not like long lasting. The scent profile are very, very similar. Just that this one is like a much more wearable summer version of the OG one, which feels much more intense and, let's say, fall to winter, vanilla scent. Whereas this one, it feels slightly diluted, Nonetheless, they give me the exact same thing, the exact experience, the exact same, performance and everything. The scent is beautiful. I love that delicious vanilla minty, like a slight minty floral, that's unique metallic or metal, nuance in this one. I have no issues whatsoever with this fragrance. I think I'm good with this one. So I'm just going to stick with this one. Probably down the line, if I'm able to get this one, I'm able to finish this one and I see the Metalique on discount, and it's like a very good price, I think I might get it. But for now, I think I'm good with Metalico by Paris Corner. The next fragrance I wish to have in my collection was Creed Carmina. All the girlies were like, oh, Creed Carmina, prestigious house from Creed, very beautiful, that's violet, the sour cherry. And, it's really intrigued me, but I really couldn't see myself taking out about 400 and something dollars to buy Creed Carmina. It is simply out of my price point, when it comes to fragrances. I really didn't see myself ever owning a bottle of that until I read about Cleopatra by Hamidi, which was supposedly a dupe for Creed Carmina, and I'm not disappointed by this at all. Honestly, it is not giving me 100%, but it's still close enough for me to appreciate this one, and kill my feelings for Creed Carmina. This one comes across as a little more floral as opposed to the Creed Carmina, which I feel seem a little much more fruity, and that is the only difference I find between Creed Carmina and then Cleopatra by Hamidi. Aside those, fruity floral, differences, they smell like very identical. They're going to give you the same elegant, sophisticated, floral, fruity, musky, powdery, nuance, very elegant, beautiful, ultra feminine. They don't come across as sexy to me, but they come across as very polished and very feminine. So I think with this, I'm okay. I'm not going to beat myself up for not ever having Creed Carmina. If I'm ever gifted that fragrance, that is going to be a dream come true. But as at now, I think I'm good with Cleopatra. Honestly, they don't smell so much, different. When you smell it in the air, they smell so much alike, to the extent that it will not push you to the extent of going for the original Creed, But I still appreciate those original, authentic fragrances. Honestly, I do. The next fragrance I couldn't wait to get my hands on was Mask Therapy by Initio. It got to a point that I was super curious about it, then I decided to get a decant of it. When I got a decant, I really fell in love with it. It didn't come across as what I was looking for. However, it still felt, it felt like something I wanted to have like a full bottle of, because it smelled so, gentle. It is not like the usual or the ones that I normally go for, but there was something still quite special about that, soft, gentle, musky, fruity fragrance that I wish, I had like a full bottle of. So I decided to go the dupe way and initially got Musk is Great by Zimaya, which I got to know doesn't smell anything like, Max Therapy at all. If anything at all, this one is super off-putting. And I was recommended Infini Max by Alhambra. I have that bottle. I don't know where it is. I think I've scattered all my fragrances because I'm trying to do some videos, so I've mixed them up. So I was able to get that Max or Infini Max by Alhambra. And trust me, that is like almost an identical dupe, like 93-95%, dupe to the original Max Therapy. I'm happy with that. It is not a fragrance I would say gives me anything sultry, vavoom, but it has a time and a place. I'm beginning to appreciate those, lighter skin scent fragrances for the most part, and I think Infinity Max is one of those fragrances I want to keep in my collection for a long time, because it's like those fragrances that if you are not in the mood to spray on anything, or you want like a cozy, cuddly sort of feel, you go for something like Infinity Max or even Max Therapy. It gives me a very great interpretation of the original Max Therapy, and I'm happy to have that checked off my wish list. And the next one I've been able to check off my wish list is going to be Bayn Al Asrar by Paris Corner, obviously for guidance. I always wanted to get guidance, but I couldn't see myself taking out that money, like over $350, almost $400. I couldn't see myself doing that. I'm very cheap when it comes to buying things. Honestly, it's not like I can't buy some of these fragrances, but I just feel like I'm so cheap to the extent that I just want to stick to my dupes. Sometimes when I see these fragrances I've been wishing to have, all I tell myself is, Ajo, I just take time. Someone is going to dupe it out, just exercise patience. And so far, I think that has been the case. That has been the case. I think Paris Corner did a phenomenal job with Bayn Al Asra. It's a very beautiful, lighter EDT version of the original guidance, in my opinion, So I'm so happy about this, and I wouldn't say I'm glad I waited. I would have wished to have the original bottle. Honestly, currently, with all these dupes that I have, if someone ever gives me the original bottles, I'll highly appreciate all of them. Honestly, I'll really appreciate all of them, but for now, I'm so happy with the dupe that I have of guidance, which is going to be Paris Corner by Asrar. The next fragrance I have here was a wish list that I eventually ended up paying for the original bottle, and that is going to be Blanche Bte by Liquid Imaginaire, if I'm not, mistaken. This, I fell in love when I got the sample of it, I think some few months back, and I immediately got the full bottle, What I can say is, although I believe this is a very beautiful, unique scent, if you can wait it out, honestly, I know between now till maybe December, a dupe for this fragrance is going to come out, and I can't wait for a dupe of this fragrance, to come out, It is my prayer that all the very popular niche brands or niche fragrances get to be duped at some point, although I know a lot of people are going to be offended by that, but I mean, when it comes to dupes, I think it's high time the dupe houses stop repeating the same old things, giving us the same old things they've been duping, and give us something, something that we've been yearning for. There are some dupes I really look up to. Others I'm not super excited about, because they are already saturated on the market. And I'm looking forward to, those more exclusive niche designer fragrances that a lot of people are not, have access to, like Blanche Bte, for example. I'm yet to see any dupe, from the Middle Eastern house. I can't wait for a Middle Eastern house to dupe this fragrance, so that at least everybody can have a sense of how this fragrance smells. And the last one I have here is going to be a fragrance that I don't have a bottle of, it's a decant, and I also don't have any dupe for this fragrance, but it is one of those fragrances I am hoping and praying that I do get a dupe of, and that is going to be Escapade Gourmound. This is a very beautiful vanilla scent. It is so intense, so pretty, very womanly, so gourmand, like one of the perfect vanilla scents I have come across. Escapade Gourmound is one of those fragrances I'm really looking up for, a dupe, and I'm just hoping that maybe Paris Corner or even Latafa is going to give us that, I'm just so tired of the same repetitive things. I can't wait for any Middle Eastern house to dupe out any of these two fragrances, I'll be super curious to know how they smell and how they compare. And that is all I have for you today, and I hope this video found you well. If you have any wish list that you are thinking about, any Middle Eastern house duping, let me know in the comment section. But these two, Blanche Bte and then Escapade Gourmound, are my, the ones I'm looking out for currently. So that is all I have for you today, and I hope this video found you well. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up. I would really appreciate that, and I hope to see you in my next one. Take care. Bye bye.